Look at it.
Called to order the immediate Borough Council meeting, legislative meeting of June 2012. Please all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we all stand, take a moment of silence. This past month, Art Palmer, who many of you know, worked at the Delaware County Institute of Science. He was president there for about 20 years. He passed away. If anybody's driven past or walked past the DCIS recently, you'll see that there is a black band. The reason is in memory for him and for his wonderful service there. Anybody with kids, if you ever went to DCIS, he was a gentleman who would greet you, find out what your kid was interested in, and then he would then do what he did best. He would teach them. Borough will miss him. So a moment of silence, please, in the memory of Alfred Palmer. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, the first item of business is the approval of minutes. We have 3 sets of minutes that we are seeking to approve. The first is the May 3, 2012 workshop meeting minutes. Do I hear a motion? So moved. Do I hear a second? Second. And any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. The workshop meeting minutes from May 2012 are approved unanimously. Second, we have the public hearing minutes, May 10, 2012. Do I hear a motion to approve those minutes? So moved. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes unanimously. And the third set of meeting minutes is for the May 17, 2012 legislative meeting. Do I hear a motion? So moved. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes unanimously. Okay. So, having taken care of that matter, it is now time for public comment and privilege of the floor. If there's anyone here present who wishes to come at this time to address council, please do so. The microphone is there. Please identify yourself by name and address.
Hi, Stephanie Borough, Parks Edge Lane, and I have both an announcement and a question. First, the announcement, I'm with Friends of Glen Providence Park, and on Saturday we're doing a pond walk. It's free, it's for kids, but it's for kids of all ages, so just because you don't have young kids anymore doesn't mean you can't join us. And we'll be looking for, there are muskrats that live in the pond, water lilies, there's all sorts of amphibians, fish, dragonflies, all sorts of things to see. So we'll be starting that at 10 a.m. It's 10 to roughly 11:30. We'll be meeting at the main entrance on State Street. And we do ask, we'll be doing a craft for the younger kids who show up, so we ask that people register by emailing us at friendsoftheglen@gmail.com. And also you can get more information on our website, which is it's just glenprovidencepark.org, or you can find us on Facebook, which is Friends of Glen Providence Park. So we hope that people will join us. And my question is, I know that in the past, and I don't know if this is still the case, for those of us who often watch the council meetings from home, you could actually email a question in, and that could be addressed at the end at public comments. And I don't know if that's still the case, and if it is, what is the email address that people can use?
Mr. Smith, do we still have that?
Yeah, we do have the capability, and it's questions@mediaborough.com.
Questions@mediaborough.com. Okay, thank you very much.
Jeff, do you see it? Do you see it when they come in? Because we haven't had one in quite a while.
Yes, I do.
You see it if they come in? Because I don't remember the last 6 months it's actually getting questions.
That's correct. Yeah, we haven't got it.
But we had the answer.
We have all the answers to none of the questions. Does anyone else wish to come forward at this time? Would you please identify yourself by name and address?
My name is Kevin Gallagher, and I'm actually not from Montgomery County, but I work in Delaware. I work at Holcomb Behavioral Health. I'm a tobacco prevention specialist, and I am here to talk about the initiative Young Lungs at Play, which I'm sure many of you have seen this sign before. Yes, no? Yes? So anyway, I am here to talk about this. From what I understand, it has been presented before, and there has been little to no motion with it, so that's why I'm here. I wanted to say that the initiative has spread rapidly throughout the funded 7-county Southeast Pennsylvania region, with participants like Lancaster City, Reading, and Doylestown, and several other municipalities. And Delaware County has especially succeeded in gaining supporters. Some of the supporters are Upper Darby Township, Upper Darby School District, Swarthmore Borough, Darby Borough, Sharon Hill Borough, Concord Township, Glen Olden Borough, Rocky Run YMCA, Christ Tabernacle Church in Morton, Mount Pleasant Nursery and Kindergarten in Aston, and most recently the City of Chester and Ridley Park Borough have joined. So it's really important for me and for my organization because the importance surrounds the children and the youth that are playing in parks and playgrounds, where cigarettes are being disposed and secondhand smoke they're being exposed to secondhand smoke and other tobacco trash. So I really feel like maybe you guys can maybe relook into this and for the media borough and all the parks and make the parks and playgrounds tobacco free.
All right, it's a noble cause. Might I suggest that our next workshop meeting is July 5. I know that's not the most convenient day for many because a lot of us might be away at the time. But I think that if you were to present at that workshop meeting, we'll have greater opportunity to question you and understand better what it is you're proposing. Because right now we just haven't had that opportunity. It sounds like a good thing, but sometimes devils are in the detail.
Right. I can leave this time with you, and I also have my card and some paperwork, and I can attend that.
Okay, excellent. It will be, let me just let you know where and when.
Okay.
It'll be in this complex, at the second floor of the complex, and it starts at 7 o'clock.
Okay. Will it be online?
It will be online,
Okay.
yes.
Is it 7 or 7:30?
Or 7.
We changed it to 7, correct.
Going forward?
So,
Do you mean is it
It's
televised, or do you mean is it?
is the information online? Is that what you're asking?
Oh, no, I mean, is the upcoming meeting going to be online, like the time and schedule?
Yes.
Yes.
It will be, but one caution. It might still be online that the meeting starts at 7:30. Mr. Smith, has that been changed to 7 o'clock?
Not yet.
Not yet. We took action the other night to change the start of that meeting to 7 o'clock. So if you look online, you'll see the where and when, but the when needs to be shifted back a half hour. So it will be 7 p.m.
Right.
Okay?
And would you like to take the sign and the paperwork?
Yes, please. I think that will be helpful. If you leave it right there on the bench, that'll be wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Expect to see you in a couple of weeks.
All right, see you later. Happy holiday.
Thank you, Mike. Does anyone else wish to come before council at this time? All right. Let's then move to the engineer's report. Mr. Johnson.
Thank you and good evening. This is my engineer's report for May 2012. First off, the stormwater management for 808-810 North Olive. We've completed preliminary design, hydraulics. We have transmitted information and some basic structural items and hydraulic information to pipe manufacturers for what I call slip lining the pipe. We have been back and forth with them getting sizes, dimensions, and costs. Road resurfacing is the next. The borough has out the bid the 2012 road program. Believe there has been about 8 or 9 people who have taken the bids offline electronically. Most of the people who have taken them off have previously bid before with the borough. Update on traffic. There was a meeting yesterday for the CMAQ, which is Congestion Management Air Quality. They being Miller Brothers, the contractor, PennDOT, and Gilmore & Associates was there as representing the borough. Miller Brothers and PennDOT are in the process of completing the punch list items which were prepared by the borough. They're also working on completing the interconnection for the fiber. There are some items and issues that still need to be taken care of. There has been a report that is a draft form that has been submitted and sent out. I sent it to Mr. Smith, and when that is finalized, that will be, I'm assuming, passed on to all council at the time. So slowly moving forward on that through PennDOT. because the project is a PennDOT project and everything goes through PennDOT, not Borough. Going to look through here. Land development, the only land development in May was a final land development plan for Hickory Valley, which had to do with FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Association, to get the floodplain line revised for the units, which I did receive from the borough today, a letter from FEMA, which appears that everything was successful for the complex in getting the floodplain line revised. We are still working with the parking garage, finishing up a contract to do the structural work. We did obtain old drawings, and we have gone through them in great detail, looking to see what's there. That's been a great help to lessen the cost of the engineering work. That's about it in the summary. Does anybody have any questions?
Stealing my lines. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Johnson at this time?
Actually, is there an end time to the cement project?
No.
The end in sight, let's say.
Yes, there will be an end in sight. That's why I'm looking to find the minutes from the meeting that occurred yesterday. My understanding, and again, I was not there, that was something that was discussed. I'm hoping that that will be addressed in those minutes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for our engineer? All right, let's
Thank
move
you.
along. You're welcome. Let's move along to our solicitor, Mr. Scott.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't have a report this evening.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Scott at this time? All righty, let's move to the third Bob, the mayor.
Yeah, you're on the street. Let's see, in the month of May, the police department handled a total of 818 complaints. Once again, there were no burglaries during the month of May, and there were also a total of 55 traffic details conducted throughout the borough during the month. Changing subjects, on May 28th, we had our annual Memorial Day parade, and President Hall and Vice President Simpson were both there, as were many other people. It was the Memorial Day parade is always a very small parade. We have one band, and it's simple, and several local groups are in the parade. And every year we send out, even though we invite cameras to everything else we do, as far as our veterans groups are concerned, we did like a cursory invite on Memorial Day because they had just been here 4 weeks before and we didn't expect much. So as it wound up, the cameras, all the stations showed up, and we had 15 segments show on the news from 12 noon through 11 o'clock that day. And the amount, according to the Nielsen reports, was that 1,264,000 people saw the stories that Monday of media's Memorial Day parade on TV. So what we've been doing lately is going through the archives that Nielsen has and looking at all the previous stories that they've done on media and looking at uses for them for outreach or business development for a number of reasons. But we have attracted some of the bigger audiences in media more than any other municipality in the Philadelphia region. One last example, when Harry Callis' son came here, and I mentioned this at the workshop, but when Harry Callis' son was here several weeks after Harry passed away in 2009, Harry had read a poem the year before to veterans for Memorial Day, and it was a very heart-wrenching poem that Harry had written. And his son came here to honor his father, and not only read the poem, but he sang several songs. He's a professional singer. And it is the largest watched news segment in the last 4 years in the Philadelphia area. 2.7 million people watched 35 segments that day. So, again, we found a little bit more than we expected. I used to have a different way of gathering these things, but now we have a new way, and we're looking at different ways to promote the town and to use all these. But it's a lot of effort going through all these previous tapes, so it's not something that's going to happen overnight. I'd like watching tapes, not that much. We'll bring it together.
Anything else to report, Mr. Mayor?
Okay, we just finished the discussion. I got a
Mini executive session.
call, Jeff, correct me if I give this the wrong sequence here. I got a call, I guess, today's Friday, either earlier this week or late last week, that an organization wanted to talk to Brian Hall, Jeff Smith, and me concerning a show called Today in America with Terry Bradshaw. Didn't get a whole lot of other details, they just wanted a time when we could all talk and listen to what they had to say. And the time wound up being 3:30 today. So we were all on the call, we called in from different, well, no, Jeff and I were in the office. And it is a show, and Monica, you're familiar with it because you just told me your company does it. So the details of it are, they would like to come here in August and film throughout media for a 5-minute segment that would be shown on Discovery Channel and air 19 times, I guess, in the regional market. And there's a cost for the production. We don't know how much that cost is, but they want to buy in from us in order to do it. And they're trying to set their schedule, and if it wasn't that we sort of knew the show because we Googled it before we had the call, I would have thought, well, this is a group that's trying to rush us. And I guess they are because they have some deadlines. So what I'm doing is just opening it for discussion. We're to have another call tomorrow morning with them to give them a sense of whether we want to move forward with putting X amount of dollars in the pot, and that X amount is about $20,000, toward this show. There's more to it, but I'm just opening the door on it. Jeff, did I give that?
All right, does anyone wish to discuss this at this time? Mr. Mayor, was that an invitation to any member of council, should they wish to participate in a telephone call tomorrow morning?
Yeah, anybody can wish, and I think anybody can tune in. It's the conference call numbers here at the bottom of the page that we all were handed. And I know it's last minute, but it's it was a surprise to me. I didn't know they were going in that direction. Didn't know they were going that quickly. And I've heard of Terry Bradshaw, so sounds legitimate. But and I also talked a little bit with the president of the MDA on their thoughts on it too.
I really think it's something worth at least exploring without making any commitment to get more details and the financing. It is a well-known show in almost a documentary type format. The company I work for was interviewed and participated with our CEO and also some of our clients, which are school districts. And we use that repeatedly, links on our website to refer back to that, even though it's probably about 8 months, 10 months old. It's worth looking into, I think.
And they were shown, like Discovery Channel, and then 19 times on TV, and then they gave them the tape.
And we use it all the time in our marketing efforts.
I asked them a question today, apparently they hadn't been asked before, and that is, if we wanted all the footage you shoot, not just the 5 minutes you put on the air, how does that work? And we can have all the footage for an additional $1,500 or something like that, if we want it. If we don't want it, then they just keep it in the bulk. And I don't know how much they shoot.
It's very well produced. Very
Well,
professional.
so sometimes in local government, as in life, things happen unexpectedly at the last minute, and we're trying to deal with some late-breaking news. What I'm hearing is that we'll resume this conversation tomorrow, and depending upon what we hear, we'll then resume that conversation with all of council at some later point. My thought was that we would, time permitting, that at the next workshop meeting, we'd be able to discuss this at greater length with more information available.
Not the day of.
Not the day of. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions for the mayor, whether about this opportunity or anything else?
Actually, I have one quick question. I noticed in the complaint log that there were quite a number of animal complaints. Is there an update, can Jeff or Bob give us an update on what is happening with the animal control issue here immediate? Since I understand that the big complex is not going to be built now. So are these animal complaints just
Yes,
barking dogs, or are we picking up strays?
we've been fortunate. We actually don't pick up a lot of strays. We've had a handful, I don't have the exact number, maybe a half dozen so far this year. So essentially, we pay $175 anytime there's a stray that's transported to the Chester County SPCA. As far as what you're referring to, the Animal Control Board that was appointed by the county had been exploring alternatives. Right now, we have a contract through the end of the year with the Chester County SPCA. One of the things that they were looking at was building their own structure. It doesn't appear likely that that's going to happen, so my understanding is the board is currently negotiating a long-term agreement with the Chester County SPCA. So that's about the extent of what I have to offer right now. I'm guessing we'll get an update from the Animal Control Board, hopefully in the next month or so, to give us an idea of where we're headed come January 1st. So hopefully they'll continue the services. If not, I guess probably last year the council had come up with a contingency plan. So if for some reason it appears that it's not likely they're going to renew anything at the Chester County SPCA, we'll be more than happy to unveil again the contingency plan that the council adopted previously. But that's the best information I have right now.
All right, thank you.
I'd like to thank Monica Ward for asking me the first question this year. I used to get any questions several times at the previous council meetings last year, the year before, the year before, and I kind of missed it, so.
I'll be happy to continue.
Thank you.
All right, apparently the heat has brought out the levity this evening. Anyone else have any questions or points of discussion with the mayor? All right, let's then move to the council committee reports. Mr. Davidson, Finance, Personnel, and Library.
Thank you, Mr. President. First order of business tonight, I'd like to make a motion to hire a part-time bookkeeper. The name is Eleanor Dale, was interviewed by Mr. Smith's staff at a rate of $15 per hour. I'll make that in the form of a motion.
So moved. Is there a second on the motion?
Second?
Any discussion on the motion? There is no call for discussion. All those in favor of ratifying the hiring of Eleanor Dale as a part-time bookkeeper at $15 an hour, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, Ms. Dale.
Welcome to the borough. The next order of business is paying the bills for May. I asked, the Finance Committee recommends the payment of all bills for May in the amounts of $307,675.75, $2,253.69 from the Recreation Fund, no dollars from the Liquid Fuel Fund, and then $15,713.50 from the Capital Fund, for a total of $325,642.94 in bills in May. And so moved.
There has been a motion. Is there a second for the payment of May bills?
Second.
There is a second. Any discussion on the motion? Not hearing any, I'll call the question. All those in favor of the payment of the borough's bills for the month of May from the General Fund, the Recreation Fund, and the Capital Fund, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes unanimously.
Final order of business is the library. The library held an event on the 13th of June, which was attended by myself, Mr. Hall, and a lot of members of the public, as well as the Board of Trustees of the library. There they made an announcement that they had already received some gifts from various residents, in the amount of $50,000, as well as $10,000 from another resident. And this is for the building refresh. I don't know if anyone's seen this. I believe the picture should be posted online shortly. But again, it's about a $2.5 million project to redesign the library. And again, I'll just repeat that this is a great project. I'm hoping that this council can get behind it with as much as we can in terms of financially supporting them, as well as supporting them legislatively. But So the announcement basically is that all residents, anyone who has a deep interest in the library, that I suggest highly that people take some time and give some money to the library to help to make this project happen. They do need to raise all this money. There is a grant they're trying to get from Pennsylvania called a Keystone Grant in the amount of $500,000, which the borough has helped to facilitate. But the rest of the money will have to be raised from private donors, businesses in town, and others. And I think in terms of a landmark in town and just something that we want to keep here in town, it's something really valuable. So I'll just repeat that plea to all residents. Please, make that happen. That's all I have to report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Davidson. Does anyone have any questions for Councilman Davidson? Okay, let's move on then to recreation and shade tree. Rose?
Thanks. I have one item for action this evening. The Recreation Board is requesting the use of the top of the Olive Street Garage, the Olive Street Garage on Sundays through June, July and August. They will be there from 4 to 6 p.m. and a representative from the Recreation Board will be present on each date. This is for skateboarding. They do skateboarding events for some of the local kids, so they have a place to kind of safely do that throughout the summer. I'd like to make it pending confirmation from our new liability carrier, as Mr. Smith had informed me this evening. We want to make sure they have no issues in this kind of activity. Our previous carrier did not. We do not anticipate any, but in the case that there is, they will be addressed accordingly by the Recreation Board. And we also just want to make the caveat that these dates are not to conflict with any other previously approved events. With that, I'd like to make that in the form of a motion.
Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? All right then, call the question. All those in favor of allowing skateboard activities on the top floor of the Olive Street Garage for Sundays on, I guess, June, the rest of June, all of July, all of August, subject to approval of our insurance carrier, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. A few more recreation items. There are discount amusement park tickets available through the Recreation Office. You can come here to the borough to get them or give them a call to make other arrangements. They have discounted tickets for Dorney Park, Dutch Wonderland, Hershey Park, Six Flags Great Adventure, and Six Flags Hurricane Harbor. So if you'd like to take advantage of that, they are there for your use. There are also a children's tennis camp that starts in August of this year and another spring tennis program. All of the information is available on the Recreation website, or the Media Borough website under Recreation. You can certainly give a call as well and get some extra information. As usual, there are Pilates classes, yoga classes, Zumba, things like that. So please do take advantage and enjoy your summer. That's all I have tonight. There's nothing from Shade Tree.
Any questions for Ms. Rowe? We'll then move to Vice President Simpson. Properties, Economic Development, Fair Trade, and Farmers Market.
Thank you very much. I have nothing for legislative action this evening. Very brief information, nothing to report on properties at this time. Based on information there shared a few minutes ago, there may be something to report in the next few weeks regarding economic development opportunities. Fair Trade, remind folks that this is the year for Fair Trade Live. If you remember, the first one that we had here was one of the most well-organized events and beautiful events that I've ever seen in the borough. International musicians, international craftspeople, all with the under the Fair Trade umbrella of production and equity in fairness in pricing of products. That's going to be held in October. I believe it's the 21st, and we'll keep you posted about that. You'll start to see some posters around town already with that information. Thursday's farmers markets, again, it's from 3 to 7 every Thursday. They've got some great new vendors coming in, seasonal, very fresh. I'm not sure how things went today with the heat. I was not able to attend today, but please continue to support the local farmers, both for their produce and also for their meat and dairy products. And just on a side note, I want to thank all of our sponsors, the borough departments, and volunteers who helped make the Media 5 Mile Race this year a great success. The weather couldn't have been more perfect. Got a lot of feedback from residents, runners, and also shop owners in town that were very happy with the crowd this year. So thank you everyone for your support.
Thank you.
And that would conclude my report.
The committee dialed in some great weather this year. Does anyone have any questions for Vice President Simpson?
I'm sorry, I noticed one other thing. The reserved parking on the garage, Jeff, did we resolve that?
No, sorry, council discussed it at the workshop meeting. They're looking for approximately 75 parking spaces for an event.
For the one event?
It's 2 days for an event at the townhouse. It's Independence Blue Cross, and they were willing to reimburse the borough for any and all costs associated with it. So I believe the council had discussed it at workshop, and at this time, council, it's October and November, so if council's uncomfortable acting on it tonight, I'm sure that hopefully by July, they would like to have some type of an idea. But as I said, they're looking for one level of the parking garage and then approximately 5 spaces in the vicinity of the townhouse restaurant. So all of the attendees, will have some parking to go to the townhouse.
I appreciate that we can discuss this at another workshop. Both Monica Roberg and I were not at the workshop meeting this past month because we had children graduating from Pencrest and it was graduation night. So we can discuss it at the next meeting. Thank you.
All right. Any questions for Vice President Simpson? We'll then move to Community Development and Media Arts Council. So I'll pass the gavel to Vice President Simpson. Summer has arrived and things are slow with the exception of my agenda. There are a few things here, and I think we can go through them fairly quickly. Earlier tonight, we had a public hearing on 3 amendments to existing borough ordinances. It is now time for us to ratify those amendments should we choose to do so. The first is ordinance number 1093. This is an amendment to our zoning code to permit electronic digital display fuel price signs at gas stations. So, electronic digital display fuel price signs are the signs you now see pretty much everywhere these days. They're usually red, green, or yellow, as opposed to the old-time signs that many of us grew up with would have to be replaced by hand. The borough currently does not permit those electronic fuel price displays. This amendment permits that type of display. In addition, it restricts the color of those displays to red, amber, or green. It requires a static display only, nothing flashing. And it also puts a limit on the maximum brightness. This amendment has been reviewed by the Delaware County Planning Department and it met with their approval. This really is bringing the borough into the 21st century. I'm sure that all of us have seen these signs. They are reasonably attractive, and it is something that I think is in keeping with modern times. So I move that we do amend our zoning code to permit electronic digital display fuel price signs at gas stations.
Second.
Any discussion? The motion has been made and seconded to adopt ordinance number 1093 to the zoning code to permit electronic digital display fuel price signs at gas stations. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That carries unanimously.
All right, the second of the 3 ordinances for which we had a public hearing this evening concerns our steep slope ordinance. Currently, our steep slope ordinance, let me explain. We have a set of rules here in the borough that talk about what you're permitted to do given the slope of the land, and what you're not permitted to do given the slope of the land. Because you can well imagine the steeper the slope, the more difficult that land might be to build, and the greater the potential for erosion if you build on that land. So currently, those rules live in our subdivision land development ordinance. And this amendment will move those rules into our zoning code, and also will tighten them up a bit. These amendments have been approved by the Delaware County Planning Commission. But let me turn this over for a moment to Bob Johnston, because there's some technical issues here, and if you can explain them a little bit, I appreciate it.
Thank you. The steep slope ordinance was changed to give both the developers, applicants, guidelines, as well as the building zoning officer guidelines when the plans get reviewed. This ordinance covers the entire borough. Again, it cuts out some of the issues, and it also, if I'm not mistaken, covers single-family homes that now will be covered, which were excluded in the past. That under a single-family home, there was no guidelines for disturbance of steep slopes when they were building it.
I was about to turn to Mr. Scott to add that bit of information in. All righty. So I move that we adopt ordinance number 1094, which is the amendment to our steep slope ordinance.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? The motion's been made and seconded regarding ordinance number 1094, amendments to the steep slope ordinance. I'd like to call all those in favor, please say aye.
Yes. Aye.
Anyone opposed? And passes unanimously.
All right, the third of this group of three amendments to our ordinances involves digital billboard signs in the borough. Currently, billboard signs are permitted in the borough, but in only a very limited area, the industrial district. That is down by Dean Key's Towing. And what this amendment does is it permits digital billboard signs in that area, and in that area only. The reason for this amendment is that there has been quite a few challenges in local communities to their billboard ordinance, in which a company wishes to erect digital billboards, and their argument becomes that since digital billboards are not directly addressed by their existing ordinance, they can put those billboards anywhere. This is our way of getting ahead of that. It permits digital billboards in a circumscribed area, and we will be able to avoid, we hope, challenges to our ordinance by sign companies that wish to erect billboards elsewhere in the borough. Again, as the others, this proposed amendment was approved by the Delaware County Planning Department. Or make the motion, Mr. Scott, do you care to weigh in on this?
No, that's I was just, the area for digital billboards is much smaller than what is permitted for non-digital billboards in the district.
And they're static displays, and can only, under the amendment, the display is permitted to change no more than once every 60 seconds.
That's my recollection.
So I make it in the form of a motion that we approve ordinance number 1095, which amends our zoning code pertaining to electronic billboards.
Is there a second? Second. Motion's been made and seconded to adopt ordinance number 1095, which is an amendment to the zoning code pertaining to electronic billboards. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Unanimous vote.
And I stress that the purpose of this amendment is not to open our arms wide to these digital billboards, but for us to get control over these billboards should anyone wish to erect one in the borough. And I'm unaware that there's anyone at the present time who is interested in doing so. Next agenda item is final land development, 24 West 6th Street. This is currently a property that is not developed between Jackson and Olive Street. It's on the south side of 6th Street. The proposal is for a duplex. It is a use by right, and as I recall, there are only some waivers that were being requested by the applicant. Is that correct? And they related to tree drip lines and number of trees
And non-depicted features.
and non-depicted features.
Not depicting features, correct. And we also discussed replacement of trees, I believe, at the last council meeting.
We did. And has that been made a condition of the approval of the final land development?
Yes, it has.
Alrighty then, I'll move that we approve the final land development for 24 West 6th Street, subject to the conditions imposed by the borough engineer.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the final land development for the property 24 West 6th Street. All in favor? Or, excuse me, any discussions?
Brian, you know, is that the property at the corner? It's not directly on the corner, it's just in.
So that's your child guidance?
No, it's
Okay.
not, it's not.
Okay, I just wasn't sure.
Any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
The next item is a resolution. This is for a DEP planning module sewer for Pinnacle Hospitality. This is the Hampton Inn.
Missing number 5. 300 steps.
No, that's been taken off the agenda. That's not ready.
I'm sorry.
All right, but not a problem. We can roll with it. So this is a sewer module for the Hampton Inn Suites. Basically, what this is it's permitting the Hampton proposed hotel development to hook up to the sewer system. And that needs to be done by resolution pursuant to the DEP. So I move that we adopt resolution 2012-03 concerning the DEP planning module for Pinnacle Hospitality Group LLC, the Hampton Inn and Suites.
Second?
Any discussion on the motion? It's been moved and seconded to adopt resolution 2012-03, DEP planning module, sewer module for the Pinnacle Hospitality Group LLC, acting for Hampton Inn and Suites. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
All right, a very similar matter. Again, it's a resolution that will permit the hookup of a development to the borough, to the sewer system. And this is for the proposed condominium development at 235 East Jefferson Street. I believe it's a 4-story condominium complex that can be built by right. This resolution will permit the developer to hook that condominium complex up to the sewer system. So I make that in the form of motion that we adopt resolution 2012-04 concerning the planning module for the sewer for 235 East Jefferson Street condominiums.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? And it's been moved and seconded to adopt resolution 2012-04 for DEP planning module, sewer module for Overlook Circle developers for the property of 235 East Jefferson Street condominiums. All those in favor?
Yes.
Say aye. Anyone opposed? And carries. Motion carries.
All right, the last agenda item, the last action item involves our ICC Life Safety Appeals Board. Let me see if I can summarize this accurately. Mr. Smith, I expect that you'll let me know if I fail to do so. At present, we have a ICC Life Safety Appeals Board here in the borough. That appeals board was enacted by a motion of council back in 2004.
The ordinance under which it is created requires that it be created by resolution.
By resolution, correct.
So this is just a housekeeping item
Correct.
to clean up that omission.
It's a housekeeping matter. We have an existing board that was created by motion. It needs to be ratified by resolution. So I move that we adopt resolution 2012-05 with regard to ratifying creation of the ICC Safety Board.
Second.
Any discussion? It's been moved and seconded to ratify the creation of the ICC Life Safety Appeals Board and appointed members by resolution number 2012-5. All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes. Aye.
Anyone opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, I have two announcements. The first involves the Arts Council. Saturday, July 14th, there is the Bastille Day celebration. I think we're into the 50th year. I could be off by a year or so. It's actually Bastille Day, July 14th. So there will be a lot of activities that evening. They'll be on State Street. They begin at 5 p.m. So head on over around 5 p.m. And here are some of the activities that will take place on Bastille Day. 6:15 will be Fair Trade Awards. 6:30 will be the storming of the Bastille by the Hedgerow Theater. Always fun to watch. Dance lessons at 7:45. These will be on the street. Everyone's invited. 8:20, Zydeco a Go-Go. How can you say no? And there will be two music performances, one in front of Quincy's, one in Orange Street. There'll be a couple of accordion players. Making Music will be here, so great for the kids. Silly Joe, again, even greater for the kids. And there'll also be a presentation by International Ballet Classique. So come on out July 14, beginning at 5 o'clock. Plenty of things for everyone to do. It's a great time, and it costs you nada. Last announcement I have is something that we touched upon earlier today. The Borough Council yesterday in special meeting agreed to begin to hold the regular workshop meetings at 7 p.m. on the first Thursday of every month, as opposed to 7:30 p.m. on the first Thursday of each month. And the reason why we have done so is because we as council have met and decided that with regard to designing the 3rd Street project, all of us would like to be involved. And of course that takes time and also requires opportunity. So by moving back the start of the workshop meeting by half an hour to 7 o'clock, that will give us the opportunity to address the design issues. So beginning July 5, we will have the opportunity to discuss the design of the 3rd Street dam structure at our regular workshop meetings. So mark your calendars accordingly if you wish to be present and wish to participate. That completes my agenda.
Are there any other questions for President Hall?
Just a point of clarification on that, so I understand. We're actually looking at time as opposed to establishing a separate meeting for the.
That's correct.
For the design.
That's correct.
Is it true though that the first item on the agenda will be the design?
I expect it will be.
Okay. I mean, for
So
those.
we're going to be trying it out as we go, but initially it should be the first thing that we discuss.
But are we going to still have the standard, agenda?
We will have the standard agenda.
But it will be slotted as the first thing.
Correct.
Okay. Just to clarify. So we'll have to see what that is. Just for those who are interested, they'll know that it's the first thing, in the public. And those who are not interested, they wish to come later. I don't know whether whether we want to make that clear or not.
Well, I hesitate to do that because we're trying this on for size. We've
Well,
never built a dam before,
If
so.
your discussion takes 10 minutes, you don't
We have-
tell people to come at 7:30 because we will have to move on.
Correct.
Fine. Very good. Thank you.
I don't.
Any other questions for President Hall? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's move on to Dr. Stein, Technology, Media Business Authority, and the Environmental Advisory Council.
Okay, thank you. The first actionable item pertains to an IT service level agreement. You may recall that at the last legislative session, we spoke about this issue. We had gone through a extensive, we issued an RFP and went through an extensive review of the RFP, and after consideration, the IT committee decided on selected computer and network paramedics. We decided that we would then review that agreement and then enter into that agreement at this legislative session. I just wanted to report in the meantime, we did conduct background checks. This service provider will maintain the servers and the PCs on both the police side and on the borough staff side. And so we did request that they enter into background checks. We also asked them to sign a release that is very similar to the release signed by employees of the borough regarding the use of the access to the IT equipment here. And we did we did receive the agreement. Our solicitor did review it and made a few slight changes that were sent out to Borough, I believe, the Borough Council. And we also received from them an audit of several items that need immediate attention that the IT committee reviewed and agreed with, along with Mr. Smith, the Borough manager. So I wanted to move at this time to enter into a service level agreement with computer and network paramedics.
Second. All right, we have a motion that's been rapidly seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none.
What's the length of the first agreement? Is this a month by month, or is this?
It's a 1 year with an opportunity to get out with 30 days notice.
Any other questions? All right, call the motion. All those in favor of the borough entering into such an agreement with the computer and network paramedics for IT services for the period of 1 year with a 30-day thereafter notice, please say aye.
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 Aye. Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes unanimously.
Okay. A few other items in the IT area. Again, we'll start to move on those audit items now that this is ratified. And I believe, Jeff, you have all the paperwork necessary. Great. We are looking into we're looking into making moving towards making these sessions, the DVDs of these council sessions available through the internet, so that's an ongoing project. So that kind of concludes my report on IT. With regard to okay, with regard to the MBA, just a few announcements and updates. The MBA and Brandywine will host the 5th annual Media Car Show on Sunday, July 15th. Where over 200 antique cars will be on display. The MBA has begun to run a series of weekly digital billboard ads. The first set of ads includes a Dine Under the Stars ad, a Blue Stroll ad, as well as merchant ads by several businesses in Media Borough. The ads are expected to continue each week through November. Half of the time, the program will advertise key events and promote general awareness of media, while the other half will target specific media businesses. Planning is underway for the CAC Fine Arts Festival in September, and the MBA we're working with the mayor and other media organizations to take advantage of television network viewership data and archive footage from media. Just in terms of completions, the 10th annual State Street Blues took place on Saturday night, June 9th. That was a great event. We had really good weather for that. The event hosted 20 venues across the business district, and so that was a great event. And again, I want to thank all the people who participated in putting that on. We're really lucky that we have really top top, I can't talk tonight. Must be the heat.
That's what
Top quality musicians from really all over the country who participate, and it's really a great event, so we're lucky to have that. In terms of the Environmental Advisory Council, there's going to be a residential composting workshop planned for the fall. And I also should point out that anyone who's interested in serving on the Environmental Advisory Council, there is a vacancy on that committee. Our grants writer has also submitted a grant proposal for a new leaf connect. I really can't talk tonight. A new leaf collector, we also there is a press release that's being issued to thank those media businesses that are recycling, as indicated in their report. Let's see, a few other items. One of the things I've been following up on is on energy. I asked us to look into, we have 9 solar installations in the borough. Each one of them, they're relatively small. They're about 5 to 6 kilowatts each. But total, they produce about 40 kilowatts of power, which is, at least it's a contribution. But we did find that a few of them are under operating, so we are looking into getting those repaired as soon as possible. I'm also very interested in tracking we were awarded grants to make improvements in our energy efficiency in the buildings here in the borough. And we have completed most of those in the past few months. And I want to make sure that we track those savings over time. So we are putting into place a process for doing that. The EPA actually provides a online software called Portfolio Manager, which will help you track the energy performance of your building. So we are moving ahead in conjunction with that. We'll be working with them. The County Planning Department, DVRPC, is also providing help and resources in doing this. So I'm kind of excited about that. Media has really moved ahead, I think, has been on the forefront in doing these sorts of things. So I'm really happy about that. I also want to thank Karen Tusklux for also participating in getting those grants and also tracking this over time. Let's see, any other odds and ends? We did just update a web page for doing business in media. So that's just, we've tried to put together some of the most current demographic data, as well as some of the latest data that you provided about the advertising exposure. So just for those businesses that are interested in coming here, there's a web page that does that. Again, it's pretty much in the same place that it was. It is in the same place it was before, under the business tab on the media website. One other thing, we have moved. I want to thank Monica Simpson for this idea. I think at one of the sessions she suggested that we look into or approach the banks in terms of hosting the machines for the parking cards, smart cards. So we did. Mr. Smith did send out a letter inviting the banks to do so. We have heard from a couple of those banks. We're waiting to hear from more of them. The MBA also became interested, and they thought, well, gee, if the banks can do it, why can't any business do it? So they're putting a note out to the businesses in the latest newsletter to invite other businesses that may want to host this. So we're getting good response to that. I want to thank you for that good suggestion. We followed up on it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so it's a good idea.
Good.
And that's really about it for me right now.
Any questions for Councilman Stein?
Just a quick one.
Yeah.
You might not know this, anybody parking?
Given the way I'm talking today, probably not.
Anybody parking in our green parking spot yet?
I've walked by a few times to check. I haven't seen, Jeff, do you know if we've gotten any draws there?
We've gotten some. We followed up with the company. They're in the process of tracking it and giving us a little bit more information, but just initially, as the days and months have gone by, it's picked up a little bit more. So it may be an area, as soon as we get some of the data from them, you may want to look at maybe doing a PR campaign in some form. So, but it's slowly picking up.
We probably, I'm not sure if we have a webpage devoted to that. We did have a press release that came out. Maybe we should maybe put a webpage up on that, or at least in some sort of announcement if it's not there already. That's a good question. Thanks.
Comments,
Yeah. All good stuff.
Any other questions?
For folks who may not be aware of what you're speaking about, do you want to tell them what the green space is and where it's located?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it's a farm lot.
Behind the, I assume you're talking about behind the firehouse, we dedicated with, I believe it was Community Energy, is that correct? Community Energy about, probably about 3 or 4 months ago, a spot is dedicated for vehicles, electric vehicles, so that they can plug directly in. And so if you have an electric vehicle and you come to Media to go shopping, there's a place to park your electric vehicle. So if you have like a Nissan Leaf or one of the, what are some of the other models?
A Chevy Volt.
A Chevy Volt, exactly, Chevy Volt, Nissan Leaf. You can plug those vehicles into this. Again, it's located right behind our firehouse, and there's it's a green stripped area, and it says, you know, electric vehicles only. So we invite you to meet in your electric vehicle. Thank you.
Any other questions for Dr. Stein? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed on to Health and Historic. Ms. Farr.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have a few announcements for this evening and reminders. Media Historical Society is still having their open house on Sundays from 1 to 4 p.m., which is open and free to the public for the Minchell House in Media on Front and Providence Roads, which is the oldest house in Media. So they do love to give tours. That is free on Sundays. You can also set up a private tour if necessary. If you have children and you're from out of town or whatever, you could definitely set up a time for that. All you need to do is make a contact through www.mediahistoricalsociety.com. For that, they also have scheduled their holiday house tour. I'm sorry, you're not getting it? It's on. Sorry, he was motioning, and I'm trying to speak as loudly as possible.
I think you need to move the mountain to Muhammad.
Is that better? Okay, the Media Historical Society has also noted their holiday house tour for December 8th of this year. There will be more information to follow as the months get closer to that date, but mark it on your calendar already. For health, I have just a reminder and an update to remind everyone to keep all standing water areas clear and free of standing water, such as trash can lids, if you have open watering cans or containers, somewhere where water can collect over the summer. Now I think I'm too loud. Because this can become a breeding ground for mosquitoes, which can transfer West Nile virus over the summer months. And since we've already started to have a slight heat wave these past couple of days, it's something that everyone in town really should be vigilant of. Also in this heat, they want to remind everyone to please be hydrated when you're out in the heat for any reason. And then lastly, under archives, if anyone has any interest in learning about media's history, you're more than welcome to make an appointment, which you can find the information at the Media Upper Providence Library. The archives are located on the second floor. Oh my God, I think you're rubbing off on me. Archives are located on the second floor of the Media Upper Providence Library, and the information to contact someone, it is by appointment only, is located on the door to that room. It is a locked room, so you cannot just go up freely and peruse the information that's there. But it is a wonderful asset that Media has, which is, again, it's part of the library, which is one of our greater assets as well. And that's all I have for this evening.
Any questions for Ms. Rowe? Mr. Hart.
This is like done.
I think it's West Nile River virus. Any questions for Mr. Hart? I apologize. All Hearing none, we turn now to the man in steer soccer, Councilman Robinson.
All he needs is a straw hat and break in the sun.
Song, not son, song.
He's a Yankee Doodle.
Yes, and I will try to be brief. First and foremost, reporting on the fire department. In the month of May, fire, we had, let's see here, about 20-some calls, 18 in media, or 25 calls, 18 in media, 1 in Rose Tree, 1 in other Providence, Newtown Square, 1 in Springfield, Concordville, and Chester Heights. In the month of May and June for our EMS units, and every month they keep changing the format of the report, so it's a little bit different. Looking at a total of 204 calls. Some facts I found a little bit interesting. Calls from our media EMS unit. The majority were in the borough media, 78, but I had calls in Nether Providence of 49, 11 in Middletown, 57 in Upper Providence, 1 in Swarthmore, 5 in Springfield. As I reference every month, I would encourage anybody who is listening, a resident or non-resident of the media borough who would be interested in serving with our fire department and or our EMS unit, please contact our fire company. There is always opportunities to serve either in the firefighting unit itself and or the administration unit. Always looking for good volunteers and would encourage anybody who is interested to take that time to volunteer. Mass gathering permits, it seems like that's my specialty. And some of these are kind of closing the barn door after the horse is gone. They're ratifying several of these. First was, the organization was our Veterans Legacy. It was for our Memorial Day Parade, which was held May 28th. And this is just a motion to ratify the mass gathering permit for our Memorial Day Parade, which was held on May 28th.
Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? So call for discussion. All those in favor of ratifying the mass gathering application for the Veterans Day Parade, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Memorial Day. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it, and the mass gathering permit application has been ratified.
Next on the agenda is Bounty Grace Family Worship Center. They had a mass gathering on June 9th. Make a motion to ratify said agreement.
Is there a second? There is a second. Any discussion on the motion? I'll call the question. All those in favor of ratifying the mass gathering permit application for Bounty Grace Family Worship Center, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes unanimously.
Next on the list is to ratify the Delaware Valley Fire Chiefs meeting June 21st, yesterday, in which they closed off just a small section of Jackson Street. Make a motion to ratify the request to close off Jackson Street from Front to Jasper.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on the motion?
Just to clarify, the meeting was today,
Today, I'm sorry, it is the 21st, isn't it?
I think it's the wrong.
It's the heat again. No, it did say the 21st.
21st. That's right.
But for some reason I thought it was yesterday myself.
All right. Okay. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor of ratifying the mass gathering permit request with the fire company's Delaware Valley Fire Chiefs meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes unanimously.
And this is actually an upcoming event. This is presented by the Media Business Authority. It is the 32nd Annual Food Festival. I'd like to make a motion to approve the mass gathering permit for the 32nd Annual Media Food Festival, which will be held on Sunday, October 7th. I think everyone knows what will be closed, when it will be closed, and what the event is all about. So with that, I would entertain a second on the motion.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion?
One thing worth noting, on the application, I think this is the third year, the MDA is requesting the closure of Orange Street. So in order to do that, council would authorize the borough staff to communicate with PennDOT and make that request. It will only be the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation that would authorize the closure of the state road, which is Orange Street. So I just wanted to point that out.
I'll amend my motion to reflect that.
The motion will still reflect that. Any discussion on the motion as modified by Mr. Smith. All right, hearing no call for discussion. All those in favor of the mass gathering permit application for the 32nd annual Be Approved Festival, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes unanimously.
Next Monday will be a public safety meeting. At that public safety meeting, there will be discussions regarding the mutual aid agreement between the Delaware County Sheriff's Office. There will be discussion regarding a stop sign request for 2nd and Monroe Street, residential parking request for the east side of Radnor Street, and also discussion regarding the Delaware County 2011 hazard mitigation plan. So anybody who's interested, it was at 6 o'clock at Borough Hall. Two other points that I did not get an opportunity to bring up at caucus. The reason for that is because I just had the opportunity this week to attend a conference of a different type of municipalities that are located in Pennsylvania, and two issues came up that I thought we would want to take some sort of I guess, action. And so I am simply asking for, I'm not sure if this will be in the need of or requiring a vote, but to ask our Borough Manager, Jeff Smith, to draft a letter and due to the fact that President Hall will be out on vacation, ask Vice President Simpson to review and sign the letter. But in essence, right now, there is legislation, Senate Bill 405, that has passed the Senate and is currently back in the chamber of our state representatives regarding a significant change to the Pennsylvania Act 511 business privilege and mercantile tax. Long story short with this is what this would do is the only person that would be required and held subject to the tax would be a business entity that is physically located with a bricks and mortar structure within the borough. Any business that was to come in to do business in the borough and or have facilities that are within the borough but their corporate locations are located out of the borough would not be subject or to the business privilege tax. That is a significant portion of our budget. It would also require our businesses that are, and these are mainly service businesses, that are physically located within the borough to be required to somewhat modify any bids in which they put out because they would be still subject to the immediate borough business privilege tax. So in essence, you know, they would have one strike against them with regards to other bidders on a job because of that other bidders were located in a municipality that did not have the business privilege tax. They would not have to be required to pay and or be subject to. So all I'm asking for here is that we would ask Mr. Smith to draft a letter, have it signed by Vice President Simpson to go out to our state senators and our state representatives, as well as the House Appropriations Committee. I think this is something that many municipalities are moving on. It is really just the more older and well-established governmental entities that have adopted the business privilege tax. And as a matter of fact, I believe it's been since 1988 that the state has had a moratorium. So any other governments are not permitted to adopt the tax at this point. So,
well, let's ask Mr. Scott. Is there a motion? We need a motion in order.
And I'd like to make a motion that we authorize our borough manager to draft a letter and our vice president of council, Simpson, to sign and execute upon her approval the letter to go out to our state legislators.
Second.
There's a motion that's been seconded. Any discussion on the motion?
I'm sorry, maybe I'm missing something. What is the content of the letter?
Encouraging them not to adopt the modifications of Senate bill.
To reject these.
To reject this bill.
Okay, because I was not clear on what the purpose was of the letter.
If I can just add my 2 cents, I think my understanding of what this bill will make happen is that essentially what it does is it encourages businesses to leave town because essentially I can move my business across into Upper Providence, Nether Providence, do business in media as I've always done, and not have to pay business privilege taxes anymore. So from a financial perspective, it will be, I won't say catastrophic, but it'll certainly significantly impact all the business taxes we do collect. And it'll encourage business to move out of town. And also, as an additional thing, it'll basically put the burden of all the services that the media provides, the roads, all the other things, to businesses that do business in town will then not be subsidized by those businesses which are benefiting from the great town that we put together here. So, I would strongly encourage other members of the council to support the opposition to this bill.
But it also puts media businesses at a disadvantage because they're paying a tax that competitors
would not.
may or not.
And or, we need to then recognize that, anybody that was to come into town to do work, if their bricks and mortar building is outside of the borough, they would not be subject.
Do you know what the context or what the motivation was for this bill at the state level?
No, I really don't, because what I find interesting, this actually went, there was actually a Supreme Court hearing on this in which this legislation is basically going to overturn. This is, I'm fine if I can find it here, I guess it's really not necessary, but it was a case that was actually in Montgomery County in which someone was saying they were not subject to the tax, but the Supreme Court said that they would be subject to the tax. In essence, what this is really just taking away and limiting, the taxing rights of municipalities that have already adopted the tax.
All municipalities in the state.
Well, right now in Pennsylvania, there's only 200 and change municipalities that have the tax, and as just mentioned, since like 1988, don't hold me that, but around there, the state placed a moratorium, so any government or municipality after that point has not been permitted to adopt it. As I indicated, it's mainly older, more established, first-class cities, third-class cities, many boroughs. I mean, just right around here, City of Chester, Media, Dayton, Westchester, places like that. It's dependent, it's been a tax that we've had that's been very important. And I'm not sure what the lack of better words, political reason for this is, but this actually came from a conference in which I attended of Pennsylvania State Association of First-Class Townships this week. And only a handful of them, were subject to it, but they're in the same league as us, that it's going to make, substantial changes to the budget. And no one really does understand, I think it's just a philosophical, that some people believe that, well, gee, it's where your bricks and mortar are, and that's where your home operation is. Others have the belief that, if you're coming into any place, that's where you're actually doing, your business.
No, it's a good catch. Mr. Scott, is there anything else we can do that you know of, or can you shed any other light on this?
No, I think Mr. Robinson explained it well, and I think sending a letter to your state delegation is a good start.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, there's been a motion that's been seconded. Unless there's any more call for discussion, hearing none, I'll call the motion. All those in favor of requesting Mr. Smith to draft such a letter, and upon review and approval of Vice President Simpson to sign such a letter, and thereafter send it to our state delegation as well as the House Appropriation Committee, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it.
One last is, and again, this came from the conference which I attended, which, some of the things have been very interesting. This is a recycling issue. This is, I would request the same basic, that Jeff draft a letter, have it be executed by Vice President Simpson. This is in a support to amend Act 101. Really what's occurred here, and I'll just go off some of the information I had here, is that when trash haulers are taking their trash, they're required to pay a fee. And that fee was to go into a fund in which 70% of that fund was to be used for grants for local municipalities to offset recycling costs. What is actually occurring is now the state's keeping that money, in essence. So, and this is part of the recycling performance grants. So right now, 40% of the grants that are earned by municipalities, which have already earned them. Because what goes on is you earn your grant money in 2010, you get reimbursed in 2012. The state is now keeping 40% of that and only giving 60% away. Just to give an example, this is for 2010 for payments for 2012, $26 million earned by municipalities. $10 million will not be paid for this year. Over the next 5 years, $50 million will be kept by the state instead of being returned to the local municipalities. They gave some examples. I mean, I'll also give you one of, they're all larger entities, but here's one that we all would probably know would be Lower Marion Township. They earned $617,000 in recycling credit. They're going to be losing $247,000 of that money. Really, only thing in which what we would be asking is that they would amend Act 101 to reflect that any new money or would, excuse me, just again, the sister got this yesterday, that the bill would be amended to reflect any and all funds would be for reimbursement needed, would be returned back to the local municipality. This is, this is regarding two bills, either House Bill 1691 or House Bill 1934. And what I can do is I will go over with Jeff in a little bit more detail regarding this. But this is just another area which funds that were designated to be returned to us, the local municipalities, to work with and enhance recycling, is now being kept at the state level, which bottom line means one thing: we're going to be stuck taking care of the tab. So it's one of these, taxes may not be changing in Harrisburg, it's going to be forced down a little bit further to be taxed on us. I'll be glad to sit down with Jeff on that. It's really nothing more than changing, a line or two in the existing legislation, which just really require the 70% to be returned to any municipality. That will be it. In the form of a motion.
Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Mr. Scott, any words of legal wisdom?
No, I don't have anything to add.
All right, very good. All those in favor authorizing Mr. Smith to draft the letter and Vice President Simpson to sign that letter on her approval with regard to recycling performance grants as outlined by Councilman Robinson, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes unanimously.
That concludes my report.
Any questions for Robinson? Floor to all comers. Anyone who wishes to address council at this time and public comment or privilege of the floor, please come forward. Mr. Diamond?
I have not, thank you.
Oh, all right. It's just a cool place to rest your week. All right, since no one is volunteering to come to the microphone. Okay. And all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Eileen, how are you?
You know her, right?
You want to see her?
Good. Okay. I'm like,